Is it street cred that's keeping the new Ice Cube from hitting the streets? I really want to know. I'm starting to think that that's what's keeping it off because of his horrible choice in movies over the last 5 years. I still want to hear it. I don't care. Uh, Street cred, street schmred, if you know what I mean. Um, so, what's your favorite Rocky movie? I want to talk about why I chose my favorite Rocky movie. Now, 1 through 4, I really liked. 5 was. 6 wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great either. It redeemed itself enough, though, that it would have been a better 5. Um, Mine, as many people, let's start at number 1. All right, number 1 is obviously a classic. He loses, which, at the time, that was a pretty big thing to do. Like, nowadays, sometimes the bad guys win as well, too, also. But not often. And when it does happen, it's a good shock. So I always thought number 1 was shocking because I thought he would end up winning. When I was a little kid and I watched that, I thought, wait a minute, he lost? But then I realized, obviously, it was I get older, he didn't lose. He really didn't. So Rocky 2 was just, I think, a way to start a franchise and give him the win that everybody wanted him to get. So he beats Apollo Creed by 1 second. Beat the living snot out of each other. Just, bloody, and just, if you watch the beginning of Rocky 3, when they go to talk to each other, it's just gross. And then Rocky 3, of course, he gets a little cocky because now his fame has gotten him, escalated him to the top, and he's beaten all these other people now. And somebody comes along, Mr. Clubber Lang. So Rocky 3, he loses, and then of course he has to get the eye of the tiger. So Clubber Lang. So Mr. T, Clubber Lang, Jesus, Apollo Creed ends up training Rocky, as you may know if you've seen this, and he comes back to win in the end because he regained the eye of the tiger. And now, great movies. Great characters all throughout, the coach and what is his name? Merle? I can't remember. And then just all the cast of characters throughout that came and went throughout that series were interesting side characters. Like, that's what I really liked about those stories. But Rocky 4, it came near the end of the Cold War. Well, I don't know. I don't know historically when it came, but it was probably closer to the end than the middle, I'd say. And they have him fighting a Russian who kills Apollo Creed in the ring. The music cemented that one for me. Ultimately, that's what won me over. Like, his, he ends up retiring from boxing, and he gets pulled back into it just so he can even the odds. And if you really think about it, nothing is very realistic in that movie. Like, really? You're gonna go to Russia and you're gonna beat their champion in the ring, and the crowd's gonna turn on him? I don't know. Maybe they did in Russia. I don't know. But they're probably just like us, like regular people that support their champion. That they're not gonna just turn around and be like, yeah, fuck this guy. I just paid $500 for these tickets, and well, actually, Russia probably cheaper than that. Anywho, Rocky 4 is my favorite. Not so much because of the plot line. I hated to see Apollo Creed go, but it was, it set up the movie really well. But those montages, those musical montages, they are what define for me what a musical montage is in a movie. Rocky 4 gets you amped. If I may quote the great Dave Chappelle. And so, I don't know. I remember But I remember going to see this when I was a little kid with my uncle. Rocky IV in the theaters. I went with my friend Chris and my kind of cousin. We didn't realize we were cousins, but we were cousins. Michael. Even he died. I think he died a few years ago. Can't remember what it was, but I remember going to see that, and well, maybe it was Breakin' 2. I saw it with them. I think it was Breakin' 2 actually, but Rocky IV, man. Just from start to finish, it was my favorite, musically especially. But wow, there's a moth that's like this big out there. We used to get lunar moths all the time, and then they just stopped appearing. That was such a magical thing. Wait a minute. Oh no, I'm crazy. That's not a moth. It's just a reflection of something over there. But now that kind of weirds me out. Because something hit the window. What could it have been? Rocky IV. I saw Rocky IV on VHS at the Goodwill on Old Forest Road the other day. I almost wanted to get it just for nostalgic purposes to have it. I remember I had a huge video VHS collection. And then DVD came out, and it almost immediately, like within the first, when it was reasonable, like the first time I had DVD was a drive in my computer. It was $100, which was a good deal because they're regular, or it might have been $200. And I wired everything out, video out to my TV in stereo. So we always were able to watch whatever we were doing on the computer out in the living room if we wanted to. So if it was a movie or something. So that's how, for me, the whole networking started. There was no network involved. Yeah, we had a ton of VHS, and then so I got the DVD drive, because DVDs were reasonable. They were about the same price as VHS at the time. Maybe, within $3 or $4, $5 at most. So to get this disc when you didn't have to deal with tapes possibly getting stuck and quality, DVD just made sense. And so it was depressing to have to I think we ended up donating all our VHS because nobody wants to buy that shit unless they can get it at a Goodwill, like for 50 cents. Which I guess you could have done a quarter on all. Maybe I did. I don't remember. It's been a while. And then Blu-ray. And then, this is the trap, the electronic trap. I am such a geek, like, when it comes to, like, new hardware for computers or, like, the new TV technology. Like 4K does look really crazy good, but I have to wonder if they could have done that 20 years ago, and they just were like, well, if we do that now, what are we gonna release in 30, 40 years? Who freaking knows? Imagine that. How crazy are you gonna be in 30, 40 years? Like, we'll be like our grandparents going, what the hell? How do you make this thing work? What do? You put it on your thigh? Is it on your head? I read your damn thoughts, Mildred. I don't know who Mildred is. Alright, Rocky IV. That's my favorite Rocky, mainly because of the music. You got the... Alright, while I'm here, I associate one other song with these songs that's not in the same movie. But you've got, obviously, Eye of the Tiger, which is just... Damn! And you've got Hearts on Fire. Hearts on fire. When he's doing it shows them, like, you got Ivan Drago and he's in the gym doing stuff, and you got Rocky out in the wild and going crazy and growing a beard. And then you got that other one. No Easy Way Out. Oh yeah. Eye of the Tiger. So there's those three, and there's like James Brown isn't so bad on there. It's definitely not one of his best, but the Rocky IV soundtrack is probably one of my favorite soundtracks of all time too. Obviously outside of Superstar. But that one and Transformers the movie, that soundtrack is awesome. The touch is really good. The metal version of the Transformers theme is so cheesy, but I really dig it. And Dare to Believe You Can Survive. That's a good song too. One of those. hi-hat, snare, hi-hat, snare, hi-hat, snare. That 80s, like, yeah. Alright, I'm going to go before I embarrass myself any further. Thanks for coming back for number 4. Yeah, Rocky 4. You guys have a great night. I will see you in 5 minutes. No, probably tomorrow. Peace out, my brothers. I will see you on the other side of the road. 40.